Today we're gonna play a game. Which one's better? Sarasota
or Venice? We're gonna do this for 12 categories: entertainment, food, cost of living, traffic, crime, schools, jobs, diversity, housing options, which is it better for families, retirees, young adults, and yeah, I think that's it. Those are all things that we get a lot of questions on the channel as far as like, is it good for traffic? Is it good for schools? Is it diverse? Does it have good food?
Is it safe?
Is it safe? So we're gonna run the gamut here and tell you which is better. Okay, so which one do we think is better for entertainment? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yep, Sarasota.
Just a bigger city.
Yeah.
More to do, more options.
The downtown has a lot more restaurants, shopping, the UTC Mall, which is great for shopping.
Yeah, and I guess under that entertainment, I mean, that would mainly cover mostly, I guess, shopping and just like, you know, like we got the jetty in Venice and the pier and things like that. I would consider that entertainment. Parks, you know, things to get outside and do like that. But yeah.
Sarasota has Siesta Key and a lot of different parks. Rooftop bars, which we need to check out yet.
Yeah. It is probably a little closer than I think we're giving it credit for, though. I think Venice might get a slight nod on like outdoors things to do.
Yeah, I think it depends what you're looking for. Sarasota has more like nightlife. It's not like crazy like Miami, but it does have a lot of nightlife, while Venice has nightlife, but it's more chill. And also with the parks, it's probably pretty close, and the beach.
Yeah.
We have more beaches.
But yeah, I think, yeah, Sarasota still, even then, with that being said. Food. Yeah.
Sarasota?
Not even close for me.
Oh, really?
Oops.
Venice?
Oh, I'm sorry. Whoops. Sarasota. Not even close for me.
Yeah. Venice has a lot of great options.
And this is not a diss on Venice. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of...
We love Venice. We live in Venice.
Obviously, since we live in Venice, too, it's not really fair for us to judge versus on this one because we've been to, like, Sarasota to eat maybe 20, 30 times.
A lot of times.
Is it more than that, you think, though?
Yeah. I think we've been out to eat in Sarasota as many times as we have been here in Venice.
I don't think so.
It's just that here in Venice, we never go to the same, it feels like we never go to the same restaurant.
Yeah. Sarasota, there's a few that we go back to, but yeah, there's just, again, more options in Sarasota. Venice has some amazing food. This is not a diss on them whatsoever. We have a video of some of our favorite places in Venice. We'll link that or pin that to the comments and have it in the description. But yeah, Venice is great, but Sarasota is just more great.
And see, if you live in Venice like we do, you get the best of both worlds, and it's only a 30 to 40 minute drive to Sarasota whenever we want to eat there.
Yeah, in the winter sometimes, or the summer sometimes even less, maybe
Yeah.
20, 25 minutes. But yeah, and there's much more variety. Spoiler alert, I guess, on a future category, but there's more like different types of cuisine from different parts of the world. And yeah, there's just some places that are just freaking amazing. And there's some like that in Venice too, but I just feel like Sarasota's, got a slight edge. Cost of living. Yeah.
Venice, yes.
And this one's also not even close.
Yes.
I was actually looking up different like houses and stuff. Well, you do this all the time because
Yeah.
you're a realtor. By the way, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in either of these areas,
Make sure to call, text, or email us. I am a local realtor here, 941-221-1897.
call or text at any time, whether you're looking to move today or the next few months. We hear from people all the time and we love it. But yeah, Venice.
Yes, and again, it comes down to Venice being a smaller town, Sarasota being the bigger city. Most people know about Sarasota more than they do about Venice. I feel like Venice, over the last 2 years, it's when it's become known to people. It was like this well-kept secret.
And I feel like Sarasota exploded equally in popularity in that same time.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how stark the difference is in cost of condos, houses, things like that. It's pretty dramatic, honestly.
It is.
So yeah, Venice definitely is cheaper. And cost of living, obviously, is not just your house, but that's probably your biggest payment. Outside of that, gas prices, I think, are typically a little cheaper here, I want to say.
Pretty similar for the
And
most part.
yeah, I mean, everything else, your food, stuff like that, I mean, we're so close, there's really not much difference in just about everything else that I can think of. So I don't know, leave a comment if we're missing something that would be a big factor in your cost of living. Obviously, your utilities, all that stuff's pretty similar. We're in Sarasota County here too, so a lot of that's pretty similar. Crime, which is better?
Ooh. Yeah, I think Venice, and again, just because it is a smaller town, Sarasota is a bigger city. It is very safe. We're not saying by any means that Sarasota, the crime rate there is high. It's just that with it being a bigger city, you get a little more of a mix of things.
Yeah, and yeah, anytime you have like like they have the downtown, it's like a big downtown with big buildings and just more people. I can't really even compare it though, like a big downtown, like it's not like Manhattan or anything like that, but there's just more people around. There's gonna be more things that happen, and Sarasota just has a few pockets that are, you could tell it's a little bit of a rougher neighborhood. Not that nothing like that really exists in Venice, but I can't think of any that's like, oh, that's a pocket you should stay away from in Venice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really seen it, and we've been to just about every square inch of this city at this point.
We really have.
Schools.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
I'll give it to Venice.
Yeah, I think a slight edge to Venice, but Sarasota. I mean, we're in Sarasota County, and Sarasota County has great schools.
And I just don't feel like we can very accurately answer that question. Like all we can go on is what we hear, the ratings you see online for Sarasota. So because of that, we don't have as much personal experience as Venice, where we know a lot of people. We have friends in the area that go to a lot of the schools, or maybe go to Northport.
Or their kids go to.
Or their kids. Well, yeah, obviously, our friends are not the kids. But so we have a little more, we're a little more sure, I guess, of what about Venice versus Sarasota. So,
but Sarasota has great schools as well, some private, some public, but I think, I would give it to Venice just because it is a smaller town, and with that comes, again, the sense of community and the sense of safety, which is, in my opinion, also important when it comes down to school.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Jobs.
Definitely Sarasota.
Bigger city. Pretty self-explanatory.
And Sarasota also has a lot more jobs, like different kinds of jobs. Venice, I feel like we have a lot of service-related jobs and healthcare-related jobs, but in Sarasota, in Sarasota you can find like office jobs, which, that's typically for a bigger city. In Venice, I mean, we do have offices, obviously, but in Venice we don't have as many office-related jobs. It's going to be the service industry. Yeah,
and we'll even hear from a lot of people that live in Venice, or like Northport even for that matter, that they'll live here and then they go up to Sarasota to go to work, so that should tell you a lot right there.
Venice does have the Amazon warehouse too.
Yeah, that is true. So I mean, that's something that's somewhat along the lines of like, factory work if you were to work in the warehouse, or, delivery, which I guess you could do that just about any city really, but yeah. All right, housing options. So, like just having a bunch of different ways to live is basically what this category is. I'm gonna give this one to, are you ready?
No. Sarasota? I have Venice.
So, this one's not even close for me.
Really? Why? I feel like we have as many.
So I'm gonna state my case right now. Okay. Both cities have Both cities have, condos, townhomes, freestanding homes galore. Both cities have lots of villas.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Retirement communities. But you can't get a big city type downtown condo or apartment like you can in Sarasota, number one. And number two, I feel like Venice does have a little bit of this. I just feel like, going through Sarasota with clients and things like that, we've seen some pockets of Sarasota. I was like, wow, look at the size of land they have. Yeah. This huge yard. It feels like you're in the country, but you're kind of in the city yet.
And you wouldn't expect that in Sarasota.
Exactly. So for those two things right there, that's why I would give the nod to them.
Yeah, I changed my answer to Sarasota.
Why were you going to give it to Venice at first?
Just because I like thinking of types of housing, condos, mobile homes, which we do have a lot.
We probably have more mobile homes here.
Sarasota,
I'll give you that, and 55 plus communities.
Yeah, having all that, I just feel like, or felt like we had as many as Sarasota, like if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like pretty equal, almost.
Yeah. Now that you bring that up, I guess, it's a little closer than I thought, but I still give the nod to Sarasota. Next category, families. Which is better for families?
God.
This one's a tough one.
They all are, really. Venice?
I was almost going to put up Sarasota.
I was almost going to put up Venice.
I'm going to give it to Venice just because the smaller town feel, sense of community, lots of retirees, so, the crime kind of factors in. I can definitely see the argument for Sarasota, and I'm going to let you go ahead and have at it because I think you're going to have a lot of the same reasons I would.
Yeah. So I think Sarasota is still a safe area, still great schools. You just have to know where to live in Sarasota. In Venice, I feel like we mentioned before, anywhere in Venice, you're gonna be pretty safe. In Sarasota, it's more like you have to know where you're gonna live. And I feel like it's great for families just because the demographic there is younger. I feel like Venice is more retirees. We do have more families moving to the area, but in Sarasota, there is a lot more younger people. So, I mean, there's still a lot of retirees, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there is a lot more younger families than in Venice. So for that reason.
And I think for a family growing, like the kids growing up, and for the parents too, there's just a little bit more variety to like ways to live and things to do as far as, you know, again, you can go to downtown Sarasota and get a little bit more of that big city feel. There's a little bit more, you know, just stuff going on, different options, and just
more activities for the kids too.
Just variety in general. And it puts you a little closer to bigger cities like Tampa and things like that too. If you want to do that, you know, it's a shorter drive. So, which is better for retirees?
Sarasota?
I'm going to give it to Sarasota.
Really? Wow.
Venice definitely probably takes the cake as far as having more.
Yes.
I think the biggest thing is one that we'll come to in a little bit. I skipped a couple categories, I realized, so I'll have to come back to, but I'm not going to say what it is yet. But if you can get over this one thing, I think for retirees it'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of retirees would still enjoy some more of that kind of biggish city stuff. I guess it just depends on the person.
Agree with that. Yeah. A lot of retirees, like a lot of older people, want to keep themselves young by doing certain activities, maybe going to the beach or whatever that might be. So having all those, but
I think Venice is better for actually being active.
And I feel like it's a lot easier to get to. So like most of our activities are going to be in the downtown area. You're going to be within 10 to 15 minutes of the downtown area, and it's easier. And like, to me, I feel like it's just easier to get to them if you drive your own car. Obviously in Sarasota too, but I feel like you're just like farther away. And then the sense of community with having so many retirees here, I feel like it's just a better fit for retirees.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue. I really, like, my initial reaction was put Venice up, but I just feel like I needed to state the case and represent the people, because there's gonna be just certain people that are just gonna enjoy Sarasota more. Yes. We can't speak for every person. Like, you know, not all retirees are exactly the same, you know?
And there is a lot of retirees in Sarasota.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Next, young adults.
You gonna do Venice? Nope.
I'm gonna do Sarasota. Venice, I think it's gonna be, you're gonna have to be a very certain type of person. You know, and it's hard to say because I feel like, you know, teenagers nowadays are different than when like we were younger in 20s. Like, bars aren't as much of a thing anymore, so maybe, you know, nightlife and stuff isn't as big of a deal. But yeah, Sarasota's got more of that. But for, you know, I can see the case for Venice too. If you just like to be outdoors a lot, you like coffee shops, you know, just a more relaxed lifestyle. Venice is great for that.
Yeah, and we also have live music in the downtown area at night. So there is the nightlife. It's just more relaxed.
It's different.
It's different than if you want to go to Sarasota, you'll have a lot more bars, maybe going from bar to bar, like bar hopping or
nightclubs,
dancing, nightclubs. Yeah.
And again, it depends on the person, but I think someone, you know, like 16 to 25. I just see them enjoying being in more of a city typically, but that's not everyone necessarily.
Right, yes.
This is the thing that I said, if retirees can get over this or are okay with this, they'll be fine. And if you're coming from like New York or Cali, you'll be fine with it. It's traffic. Which is better for traffic? So I kind of answered that for me already.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Venice, yeah. I mean, Sarasota is not bad by any means.
It can be at times.
It can get the traffic, you can get stuck in traffic, but it's not like it could be a little bit dangerous, like if you're not paying attention, obviously, but same thing in Venice. But yeah, there's just like a lot more people in Sarasota than in Venice. Yeah,
two things that stand out to me for Sarasota is sometimes during rush hours, 75, you'll come to a dead stop, which that pretty much never happens on 75 in Venice at this point. It is getting a little more busy. Also, just certain parts of the city too can get pretty congested, especially like in peak season. That does happen here too. I feel like it's just not quite to that level. One thing I will say though, Sarasota has set up their infrastructure a little better. They just, even then, they still can't handle all the people coming, but it feels like there's more roads with 2 lanes that are, you know, a little bit faster moving traffic. Whereas Venice, you basically have Tamiami, and then Jacaranda is supposed to be kind of that, but it isn't. It's like
it's not fast.
30 miles an hour or 2 lanes, and So infrastructure, I feel like Sarasota set up a little better, but even then, you know, if you get on the wrong road, you could get backed up.
Yeah, and I think that's also because Sarasota and Bradenton, like depending on what side of Sarasota you're on, Sarasota and Bradenton pretty much become one.
Yeah, there's no difference between the two.
And they're both big-ish cities.
Yeah, for sure. Diversity. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, I think. Yeah.
Upside down.
I probably did that for a few of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarasota again, bigger city.
It's a bigger city. There's a lot more like different restaurants, different cuisines.
That's where it's really important for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Venice, we got like, I always come back to this, we got like one Indian place, actually
2 Thai.
2 or maybe 3, I think, Thai places after
like
relocating.
4 Mexican.
Yeah, but there's probably like 30 Thai places in, well, probably not actually 30, but you get what I'm saying.
More,
it's at least double that, you know what I'm saying? And it's just because it's a bigger city. That's just kind of the way it goes. But yeah, we went to that Asian grocery store that time. What was it, Vietnamese grocery store? What was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was fun going in there, just like, what's this?
And we went there because there wasn't one in Venice, so that kind of like goes to show a little more of the different types of cultures that Sarasota has that Venice doesn't. But we do have 2 Latin markets that / restaurants, and there's a Filipino store.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, not to say we don't have anything, but there's just not as much.
if you are looking to move to the Sarasota, Venice areas, make sure to call, text, or email us 941-221-1897. I am a local realtor here.
Whether you're looking to move today or in a few months, we'll always have your back. We hear from people all the time, and we love it. If you want to see more videos like this, leave a comment, let us know.
If you want to see more about Venice, check out this playlist right here. And if you want to know more about Sarasota, check out this playlist.
Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, and live breezy.